Have you heard about the bacteria that eats you alive? Well, let me tell you about it. This may sound like a plot from a horror movie, but it's a real condition that can lead to ultimate fatality. Did you know that necrotizing fasciitis is a flesh-eating infection that can lead to amputation or death? The most fascinating thing about this infection is that up to 1 in 5 people carry group A strep in their throat or on their skin without knowing it, and there's no vaccine against this infection. You might be wondering, what in the world is necrotizing fasciitis, and what has it got to do with this bacteria that eats people alive? But hey, don't worry, I've got you covered. Let me try and break it all down for you. Streptococcus pyogenes, also known as group A strep, is a bacterium that can cause a wide range of diseases from mild to life-threatening. It's the most common bacterial cause of strep throat, accounting for 15 to 30% of cases in children and 5 to 10% of cases in adults. Not just that, it can also cause impetigo, a skin infection that is characterized by red, raised sores that ooze fluid. In more severe cases, group A strep can cause necrotizing fasciitis, a flesh-eating infection that can lead to amputation or death. Group A strep is a gram-positive beta hemolytic bacterium. Group A strep is a type of bacteria that has a thick cell wall and can break down red blood cells. This makes it a dangerous bacteria that can cause serious infections. It also produces toxins that can damage tissue and organs. Group A strep is spread through contact with respiratory secretions, such as saliva and mucus. It can also be spread through contact with infected skin. The bacteria can live on surfaces for up to 24 hours, and so it's important to wash your hands frequently to prevent the spread of infection. This means the group A strep can be spread through some of the following. Contact with respiratory secretions. This includes things like saliva, mucus, and spit. So if someone who has group A strep coughs or sneezes near you, you could get sick if you breathe in the droplets that they produce. Contact with infected skin. This means that if you touch a sore that someone has that is caused by group A strep, you could get sick too. Surfaces that have the bacteria on them. This means that if you touch a surface that has group A strep on it, and then you touch your mouth, nose, or eyes, you could get sick. This is why it's important to wash your hands frequently. You should wash your hands after using the bathroom, before eating, after blowing your nose, coughing, or sneezing, after touching an animal or animal waste, after changing a diaper, after cleaning up a mess, after being around someone who is sick. Washing your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds will help to kill the bacteria and prevent you from getting sick. Even though the symptoms can often be confusing and even develop very quickly, it can be easily detected by some common signs. Early symptoms of Streptococcus pyogenes may include some of the following. Fever. A high fever is a common symptom of a GAS or group A strep infection. A fever is a body temperature that's higher than normal. The normal body temperature for adults is 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit or 37 degrees Celsius. A fever of 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit or 38 degrees Celsius or higher is considered to be a high fever. A high fever is caused by the body's immune system fighting an infection. The immune system releases chemicals called pyogenes, which raise the body's temperature. This helps to kill the bacteria or virus that's causing the infection. A high fever can be a sign of serious infection, such as a GAS infection. If you have a high fever, it's important to see a doctor right away. Early diagnosis and treatment can help to prevent serious complications. Pain. The affected area will be very painful even when you don't touch it. Pain is a common symptom of a GAS infection. The pain can be felt in the throat, ears, muscles, joints, and abdomen. Sometimes this pain can be mild or severe and it can come and go. Usually the pain is caused by the bacteria that's causing the infection. The bacteria release toxins that irritate the tissues and cause inflammation. This inflammation can cause pain, swelling, and redness. Swelling. Apart from the pain, you may notice that the affected area will be swollen and red. Blisters. Some blisters may accompany the swelling on the affected area. Rash. Sometimes the rash may appear on the affected area as well. And finally, blackened skin. This can occur in severe cases of GAS infection, such as necrotizing fasciitis. Blackened skin is caused by the death of tissue due to the infection. The dead tissue can turn black, blue, or purple. The skin may also be warm to the touch and may have a foul odor. At this point, it's important to see a doctor right away because it could be life-threatening and require immediate treatment. In addition, you may also experience some sore throat, headache, swollen lymph nodes, and muscle aches. Also, the symptoms of impetigo may include red, raised sores that ooze fluid. You must also understand that noticing all of these symptoms alone is not enough to make a diagnosis. Necrotizing fasciitis is a serious infection that can kill if it's not treated right away. It's hard to tell if someone has necrotizing fasciitis at first because it can look like other infections. Here are some extra steps that your doctor may take to be certain of a proper diagnosis. Taking a tissue sample, or a biopsy, from the infected area. Looking at blood work for signs of infection and muscle damage. Taking pictures of the infected area, also known as imaging. It's important to start treatment as soon as possible so your doctor does not have to wait for test results if they think you have necrotizing fasciitis. After all the proper tests and diagnoses have been made, if it's confirmed that you have a group A strep infection, the doctor will do well to act right away because early treatment with antibiotics is important to prevent complications. But what do I mean by complications? Well, complications of group A strep infection can definitely trigger some of the following. Rheumatic fever. This is an autoimmune disease that can damage the heart, joints, and skin. It's most likely to occur in children and young adults who have had a strep throat infection. Post-streptococcal glomerulonephritis. This is a kidney disease that can lead to kidney failure. Necrotizing fasciitis. This is a rare but serious infection that can destroy the skin, fat, and muscle tissue. It's a medical emergency that requires immediate treatment. Toxic shock syndrome. This is a life-threatening condition that can be caused by a group A strep infection. It's characterized by a high fever, rash, and low blood pressure. If you have a group A strep infection, you'll need to take antibiotics for 10 to 14 days. It's important to complete the full course of antibiotics even if you start to feel better before the 10 to 14 days are up. However, in some cases, antibiotics may not be effective or may not be tolerated. In these cases, other treatments may be used, including some of the following. IVIG, or intravenous immunoglobulin. It's a medication made from pooled antibodies that have been donated by healthy people. IVIG is given through a vein, intravenously, and is used to treat a variety of conditions. IVIG is sometimes used to treat GAS infections that are severe or that do not respond to antibiotics. In some cases, GAS infections can spread to the bones or joints. If your doctor feels that this is the case with you, then dental surgery may be necessary to remove the infected tissue. Meanwhile, in rare cases, GAS infections can lead to necrotizing fasciitis, a serious condition that can destroy the skin, fat, and muscle tissue. In these cases, surgery may be necessary to remove the infected tissue. And there you have it. This is the basic knowledge you need to have about Streptococcus pyogenes. And hey, thanks for watching. And if you're new to this channel, then quickly hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification so that you'll be the first to know when the next video drops. See you next time.